I'm a menace. I'm with shit like I'm Dennis.
1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots at the Glock.
The man formerly known as YNR Choppa has transformed into hip-hop superstar NLE Choppa, and just as his career has expanded after his breakthrough 2019 hit Shotta Flow, so too has his net worth, with most estimates pegging him in the $3 million range, at least according to sites like Celebrity Net Worth and Wealthy Gorilla. So what is a kid who grew up in Memphis, Tennessee like to spend his millions on? Well, besides an enviable and killer sense of style that he's always willing to drop a pretty penny on, he's also an awesome older brother and family member. Whether he's buying his older brother an $80,000 Audi or his mom a chain with more diamonds in it than he could ever possibly count. He's also not beyond dropping close to $50,000 to replace a lost diamond grill, and while he's at it, picking up some eye-popping new bling for his pup Kingston. And how much money you gotta be making to buy jewelry, like real jewelry for your dog? I don't know, it's just a different tax bracket. I can't relate. How can you afford all of that and so much more? Well, Choppa made the incredibly smart decision to bet on himself early on in his career. Basically, instead of signing with a label looking to milk him for all that he's worth, Choppa made sure to find a deal that valued him properly. By getting his career off on the right foot, he was able to leverage his next contract into creating his very own label called NLE Entertainment. And most recently, he's created his own health and wellness shop that very well might one day end up replacing his career as a rap artist, if recent social media posts are anything to go by. So without further ado, let's check out the rich life of NLE Choppa. NLE Choppa has only been a part of the music industry since 2018. That being the case, the majority of his net worth to this point in time has come as a direct result of his impressive music career. After earning his breakthrough success with 2019's Shotta Flow, within a month he had already produced a sequel, the less than uniquely titled Shotta Flow Part 2. He might have run out of ideas for song titles early on, but both these tracks would rack up over 20 million views within only a couple months, and his sudden success on YouTube sparked a bidding war between music labels for his services. Companies like Republic Records and Interscope reportedly offered him as much as $3 million to sign him, but NLE Choppa turned them all down. Why? Because after consulting with his mother, who also just happens to be his manager, he ultimately decided to stay independent and go with a distribution company known as United Masters.
We really wanted to take our time and make sure that we understood the business first before you just sign and then you don't know exactly what it is you're signing or you don't understand the whole aspect. And I'm the type that I like to read everything before I sign it.
Look, we've all heard the horror stories of record labels swindling artists out of their true value of their music. So instead of sacrificing all of his future earning potential in order to get a signing bonus up front, something that usually has to be paid back by artists before they even see any sales money, NLE Choppa chose United Masters because they offered him a 50-50 split all across the board and granted him ownership rights over everything that he's ever created, something that's a little uncommon in this music industry. Basically, that means from the get-go, NLE Choppa has been seeing money come from a whole different range of platforms. When announcing the partnership, United Masters owner Steve Stout said, "Here's the issue. He's already just seen with him owning the right and us doing distribution, he's earning money on Spotify and Apple Music, and his song is growing on YouTube. What does he need a record company to do?" In terms of his own thought process, NLE Choppa discussed how, "I get to own all my music, so it's just a better deal than a label. I want to be able to have my own label so I can build something from the ground up. In 10 years, I want to look back and think I created something big." In other words, this decision helped NLE Choppa get set on the right path. He got hundreds of thousands of dollars in his bank account almost immediately from his streaming rights. And better yet, he didn't have to pay back any money to anybody. It was all his. Ultimately, Choppa used his partnership with United Masters to springboard himself to an even better deal with YNR Records, who he signed with in late 2019. Now that he already established himself as a creative force with pull in the industry, Choppa got exactly what he wanted out of the negotiations, namely his very own label, No Love Entertainment, to which he can sign up-and-coming acts like Gino 2 times.
So this NLE Choppa, I'm proud to announce I'm signing one of my 4 artists right here. Gino 2 times, you know what the fuck going on.
With YNR Records backing him, NLE Choppa dropped his debut album, Top Shotta, in the summer of 2020. And because it was produced by his own label, he's going to see a greater overall cut than most artists would in these circumstances. And that's just on top of owning a percentage of what his NLE signed artists will be bringing through their own singles and albums. Of course, just because NLE Choppa is finding great success as a rapper doesn't mean that he's always going to be sticking to the hip-hop game. In fact, if recent social media messages are to be believed, Choppa is seriously considering becoming a herbalist. Yeah, figure that.
I'm proud to announce that my website is now live. I will be selling healing herbs. I'm probably gonna sell crystals, sea moss, gels, but right now I'm starting out with mug work.
That's right, you heard me correctly. Whereas most rappers usually create their own merchandise shop to sell t-shirts with their faces on it, NLE Choppa is more concerned about what his fans' well-being and overall health is. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still buy a t-shirt with his face on it, but the majority of his store is stocked full of herbs that are meant to improve the quality of life for those who partake in them. It's funny, I like to think of myself as something like a herbalist too, but I don't know, I think he's talking about different herbs. Will NLE Choppa really buy out his contract with Warner like he suggested and concentrate full-time on growing herbs? I'm not putting it past him, I mean, just look at how seriously he takes his garden.
I wish I would have learned this before I put them in here. If you put your seeds in your mouth and then put them in like the soil, the seeds will take in your DNA and then it'll grow for the benefits that you need.
And while I highly doubt that he'd ever make as much money selling this stuff as he does from making music, that isn't to say that he's still not making a killing. For instance, if his site averages around 60,000 unique visitors a month, and with the average conversion rate of most online shops being around 7%, well, if we multiply both those numbers by the average cost of one of NLE's herbs, say this $70 bag of Aki sea moss, that suggests Choppa is earning somewhere around $290,000 a month from this particular business venture, which, yeah, ain't bad, you know, for sea moss. Since his debut, NLE Choppa has always shown off a singular sense of style, whether it's his killer Armani military band jacket that he wore in the music video for Narrow Road, estimated to be worth around $6,000, yes, for a jacket, and a $200 pair of RC2 Tokyo designed New Balance sneakers as seen in the video for Walk 'Em Down, or even the $1,600 Saint Laurent moon landing bomber jacket from Famous Hose. NLE Choppa is all about that cross-section between the freshest fits and classic style. But fashion isn't the only expense on his mind. He's also concerned with using his unparalleled success to take care of those closest to him. For instance, over the past few months, he's not only bought his mom a gorgeous chain for her birthday.
Mama Choppa chain.
Damn. That is f***ing pretty.
But he also bought his baby brother an Audi Q7, a luxury SUV worth around $80,000 and capable of accelerating to 60 miles per hour in just 6.9 seconds. Pretty nice.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm so happy. Because I need a new truck. You know about it. Quit out.
You got shipping on yesterday.
And I finally got an Audi. Oh God.
He's also not above spending some of that hard-earned dough on himself, and why should he be? Last year, NLE Choppa misplaced his set of diamond grills, so he hit up his favorite jeweler, Icebox in Atlanta, to get it replaced. All it cost was, you know, cool $50,000 to do so. And since he was already there, dropping a small fortune, why not throw down a few more grand to pick up some new bling for your puppy, Kingston? Like I said, you know what kind of tax bracket you gotta be in to spend money on jewelry for a dog. I'm not hating on dogs, I love dogs, I'm just saying, it's crazy, I can't relate. I mean, geez, when was the last time that you saw a dog looking so fly? I know most rappers like to make family and friends a top priority, or at least they like to pretend to, but NLE Choppa really does take care of his entire crew, four-legged canines included. There's no exceptions here. My name is Clyde Smith, and if you've enjoyed this look into the rich life of NLE Choppa, then please like and subscribe. And if there's someone else that you'd like to see profiled in this series, then let us know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in another video.